Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you all are doing good and staying safe during these troubled times. In today's video, I'd like to discuss few considerations that you might want to look into before you go and buy your first e-bike. When I bought mine, I did not know much about it. I had to read a lot of articles, go through a lot of bike forums, talk to some experts, and I could buy an e-bike finally that suits my specific needs. I ended up buying a Hero Electro C8. So with all of the reading that I did, I have summarized few important points which might help you to make a right decision for yourself. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. Desmo Sudesi is a channel all about e-bikes and commuting on bicycles and e-bikes. So in the e-bike market in India, the manufacturers put out a lot of marketing material and they're trying to promote features that are not necessarily so important than they show it to be. And then they try to promote and try to portray that bigger batteries and longer battery range is the only thing that you have to look for in an e-bike, which is absolutely wrong. There are far more important things that you need to look into before you go and buy an e-bike for yourself. So some of the points that I'm going to share now will help you look beyond that marketing gimmick and make an informed decision. So first one is bike fit. Bike fit is an aspect where you check how well the bike fits you. We all come in different shapes and sizes. Bikes also come in many different geometries and sizes. So the one that works for me might not work for someone else, which is why it is very important that you go to a bike shop, find a frame that is suitable for your height, find an optimal seat height. So the way you find an optimal seat height is sit on the bike and stretch your legs to on the pedal and let it reach the bottommost position of the pedal stroke. At this position, the front of your feet, not the heel, the front of your feet near the toes, have to be at about 15 degrees. It should not be completely stretched out. At about 15 degrees bend of your leg is a right and optimal position to begin with for seat height. Once you've got that optimal seat height, try to reach the handlebar. And when you reach the handlebar, it should not be too stretched out. If it is too stretched, if you feel that you're trying hard to catch the handlebar, which means the frame is too big for you, you might want to look at a size lesser than that. On the other hand, if your handlebar is too close to you, and if it feels like your knees are almost touching the handlebar, which means that the frame is too small for your height. So look into these two things: correct seat height and the correct reach to the handlebar. If any of these things are not done correctly, you will end up with a very uncomfortable ride, which will eventually lead to body pains and fatigue and all of that. So, and also go and read about bike fit on the internet. Bike fit is a very extensive topic. There are so many parameters that professional riders consider. This is just tip of the iceberg. But actual proper seat height and proper reach to the handlebar, I think, will give you an idea about whether it will fit you or not when you go to a bike shop. Remember, comfort is the most important thing that you have to look for. The second thing, this is a very common question that I get asked even on the comment section of my other videos. Should I buy a geared bike or a single speed? Now, if you ask me personally, if I were given a choice, I would definitely go for a geared bike because geared bikes tend to be more efficient in such a way that I get better battery range with an geared bike because I can pedal along and support the battery during my commute. And if ever the battery gets over, I can still pedal with gears and reach my destination without a lot of fuss. So if you live in a flat place where there are not many hills, I think you can get away with single speed as well. But if you live in a place where there are very steep inclines and declines and a lot of road undulations, then geared bike would be a logical choice. Having said that, you can make your own choice if you want to extend a budget to buy the geared bike or not. Number three, the components. The components of the e-bike should not be compromised. Components such as brakes, stem, the handlebar, brake reverse, the seat post, seat, cranksets, fork, etc. These are all very crucial components that should not be ignored. Remember that e-bikes are much faster than regular bicycles, and all of these components are working at much higher stress than on a regular bicycle. If you try to save money on components, you will end up spending more money over time. Either these components fail prematurely, or if they fail at a wrong time, that might lead to very bad accidents. This is not a place to be cutting cost on. So make sure that you check for better components while you buy your first e-bike. The next one is about the battery. Now, battery is it's a very talked about topic in the e-bike world. Battery and the motor. Let's add the motor as well. So in the Indian e-bike market, the motor is usually capped to 250 watts. I think all of the brands that I have checked had 250 watt motor, and some of them happen to have 350 watt motor, but I think there are some sort of regulations, Indian government regulations, that restrict the e-bike manufacturers to use a 250 watt motor. Nevertheless, let's talk about the battery now. So there are two specifications of a battery that you have to look at. One is the voltage, and the next one is the capacity. Batteries come in two types of voltages. One is 36 volts and one is 46 volts. The more affordable e-bikes come with a 36 volt battery, and some expensive ones come with 48 volts. So voltage is directly proportional to how much power the motor produces. The next one is capacity, which is calculated in ampere hours, which determines how long the battery runs. In other words, mileage. In our Indian e-bike market, the lowest that I've seen is 5.6 ampere hours, which is the Hero Electro series. I think that they have the smallest battery, 5.6 ampere hour. And some other brands, more expensive ones, can offer you 11 point something ampere hour battery as well. Like I said earlier, we're made to believe that bigger batteries and longer range is better. But that is not the case, because bigger batteries will have higher replacement cost, and bigger batteries are heavier, which means that they make you more and more dependent on their battery range, which is if the battery had to get over somewhere on the way, it will be much harder for you to paddle manually because the battery is heavy. So what I personally did was I did a little calculation about my average travel commute distance on a daily basis, average, and then I decided whether I need that a slightly more ampere hour battery, or I can do away with minimum available capacity of the battery. So you can do your own calculation and justify and make a choice whether you really need that much of a long range. Coming on to the last point, but a very important point: customer support. Customer support is very important for an e-bike, because if anything had to happen to any components or parts of an e-bike, you should be able to immediately buy that part to get your e-bike running. Unfortunately, I see a lot of e-bike brands that look so shady. They don't have any clear information about any part of the e-bike apart from whole e-bike itself. All they want to do is sell you the e-bike, and after that you're on your own. But luckily there are few brands that have maintained a good reputation and have their parts available on the website. However, make sure with your dealer that the parts are available. Find out the cost of replacement, how much a battery would cost, how much a motor would cost, how much a controller would cost, all of that. And ask if they provide any service if any damage had to happen. You have to be making sure if all of these aspects are clear. Only then will you move ahead with your purchase. And to add to this, always take a test ride, because if you just go on the internet and read the specifications on their website or any e-commerce site, it's only half the story. Take a test ride, go to a shop, If anyone refuses a test ride, immediately walk away to somewhere else. You cannot afford to buy an e-bike without having ridden it. Well, these are some of the summarized important points that I would look for if I were to buy an e-bike. So I hope these points have helped. If ever you have any other doubts or questions, you can always put them down in the comment section. I will do my best to answer them. Happy e-biking. Until then, I will see you in the next one.